When the MacBook M1 was launched, it was a paradigm shift, one where we saw ARM processors not only rival but exceed expectations. No longer were they relegated to power Chromebooks and pseudo laptops that really don't do much more than the bare minimum. Having said that, there was a MacBook Pro M1 last year. It was more of a MacBook Air M1 Plus. Now this year there's a MacBook Pro 16 that we have with us right now with the M1 Pro chip. So let's actually talk about it. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and let's get started. The first thing you would notice about this build is the fact that it's rather large and unapologetically heavy. It weighs in at around 2.1 kilograms despite the aluminum body, but it has the typical Apple look and feel with its classy Apple logo to the back. Now the only other place we have branding is the MacBook Pro branding to the bottom. Also, to the bottom we get 4 feet that are more raised than on the old MacBooks. We get a ton of I/O beyond the usual 2 USB Type-C Thunderbolt ports. To the left, we have the MagSafe charging port, which makes a comeback, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and a 3.5mm jack. To the right, we have a HDMI 2.0 port, another Thunderbolt 4 port, and a SDXC card reader. As far as I/O is concerned, this is probably, I'll take myself out, the most robust and wholesome assortment of ports on a MacBook in like forever. So let's now talk about that display. This is a 120Hz Liquid Retina XDR display and it looks absolutely gorgeous, bright, silky smooth with perfect colors even off axis. The resolution is 3456 by 2234, which is slightly below 4K. The display is calibrated for color accuracy, so if you are into color grading and Photoshop, this is the one you'd want. We will be sure to test this out more during our full review. Now, we can't really talk display without talking about the bizarre design choice of adding a notch. Yes, it has a better 1080p FaceTime camera this time around, but a notch on a laptop? Having said that, I feel it's something you can get used to real quickly. When you watch a video, it disappears. When you move a mouse pointer across the notch, macOS treats the notch as a part of the display and it disappears under it before popping out on the other side. There is no Face ID or anything, this is just a webcam, just clarifying there. Now, no matter what purpose you put this MacBook Pro to, you are gonna use that keyboard a lot, right? In our short time with it, it was perfect. The keys had enough travel and the spacing was adequate, so accidental key presses felt minimum. Another welcome change is the fact that Apple have finally put the touch bar to rest and have gone with a row of function keys instead. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of it because I never really got to use the touch bar, but going by common consensus, this seems to be a much appreciated change. Also note, these aren't the butterfly switches which were prone to breaking if you just got a little dust under the keys. Now, it's always keyboard and mouse, right? Like salt and pepper. The trackpad here, the glass trackpads that Apple have been using in their notebooks are amongst the best, and it's no different this time around. macOS gestures all work perfectly, and the vibration motor that simulates a real click is as good as ever. There are 2 fans that we haven't managed to get spinning in a short time with this laptop. Apple has done everything possible to manage thermals, like having raised feet at the bottom to help with the venting, and these vents, they are even present between the display and the keyboard on the hinge. They even thicken the MacBook to help with better heat dissipation. And for good reason. The M1 Pro processor we have on our 16-inch MacBook Pro, it has a 10-core CPU, 16-core GPU with 32 gigs of unified LPDDR5 RAM and a terabyte SSD. This is a powerhouse that can chew through all day-to-day tasks, and since this is very early impressions, we couldn't do justice and test it out in a pro workflow that involves editing, color grading, and gaming. But let me tell you this, it seems stupid fast and responds instantly when launching apps, even the heavy ones. All this when the MacBook Pro wasn't even plugged in. In the launch event, Apple made a huge fuss about the power of these machines when on battery power, and those claims, they actually seem to hold up. There are instances where we were able to scrub through 4K footage on DaVinci without any hiccups. I'll have a lot more to talk about performance once I've spent a lot more time with this MacBook Pro. For now, everything seems quite promising. Moving on, MagSafe makes a return. I've always been a fan of MagSafe because, well, it's safe, it's magnetic. People sometimes overlook the fact that MagSafe was reversible, as in it could go both ways, much before USB-C was a thing, or the Lightning or Lightning for that matter. But with USB-C came fast charging, and here MagSafe kind of does the same. We've got a 140 watt charger here, and this helps get the MacBook Pro 16 from 0 to 50 in just over 30 minutes. Well, on the topic of batteries, here's a 100 watt hour cell. They can't really go any higher due to air travel limits. The charger is massive, but that's a trade-off I can live with since Apple have made the cable removable. This is a braided USB-C to MagSafe cable that looks way more sturdy than the ones that came before. Now, if you do forget to carry that MagSafe charger, then you can still charge the MacBook Pro via one of the 3 USB Type-C ports. Now, everything's not rosy. There are a few things I wish Apple did different. For example, the HDMI port is 2.0. I would have liked to see an HDMI 2.1 port there. The SD card reader is UHS 2 instead of UHS 3. And the notch. Anyway, I wish they threw in a legacy USB-A port for connecting a USB keyboard and mouse in a pinch, but hey, wireless life and all that. Now, the audio on the MacBook Pro 16 is probably the best we've heard on a laptop. The speakers are loud, rich, and surprisingly distortion-free even at higher volumes. The speakers on the MacBook Air M1 were very good to begin with. This is better than that. Now, the 3.5mm jack, it can also support higher impedance headphones for reference monitoring. This, coupled with that beautiful display, makes for an amazing media watching experience. But that's like getting the Hulk to open a bottle of ketchup. On that cheery note, let's take a look if this machine is indeed for the pros. The input output is robust. The screen is really good and color accurate. The audio is top notch. The M1 Pro is nearly 1.7x faster than the M1 CPU performance and 2x faster in terms of GPU. So that puts it into the maxed out Intel Mac Pro territory. The battery life is rated for a whole day of use. And best of all, the machine does most things without needing to be plugged in. So there is no performance penalty for not being on AC power. All this makes this device one of the best that money can buy, or at least seems so on paper. This is kind of where we hit a wall. These machines are not cheap. They are insanely pricey. They're not overpriced or a ripoff, but $2,000 is still $2,000, right? The MacBook Pro 16 starts at 2,39,900 rupees for the base variant, the M1 Pro. Now, if your workflow demands such power, then this seems to be a good choice. I'm gonna have to spend more time with it and then talk more about it in the full review, but at least initial impressions, it seems to be very impressive. Now, anyways, that's pretty much it for this quick little video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon if you haven't yet. And I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.